Hello and happy Thursday to a special edition of Spotlights with Dory of Doris Jones Labors of Love. And I'm not even going to waste any time. I'm going to bring this beautiful man right into the studio. This is Scott. Now, I'm going to let Scott say his last name because apparently I butchered it.
It's pronounced San Donato, just like it's spelled.
I don't have the sexy accent to go with that. I just don't do that. I'm not Italian. I didn't, I'm like, I could probably mimic it if given enough time. But real quick before we do anything else, Scott, tell me how you're doing. Give me a quick check-in.
I'm doing good. It's been very busy. Working on a lot of different projects. If I'm either out shooting, I'm home editing. So it's pretty much 24/7 video and editing for me, which is something I love to do. So,
well, I didn't mean like this isn't the question Q&A, but as you're talking, my first thing I was thinking was, what do you prefer? What's the one I'm gonna say you would prefer shooting, but do you like the editing part?
I do because every video I do, it's creating a story, whether it be a music video or like a recap of a show, or like I did for Van's Memorials. Like everything's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's the process of creating that story out of nothing that is the part that I love.
Okay, and Lisa PunkrPrincess, who couldn't make it to be here with us tonight, is in our chat, and she says, "Yay, have a great show," and she says, "Hi." We do have quite a few other people watching. If you are watching wherever you're watching and you leave us comments, if I don't show your comment on the screen, it means I can't see it for some crazy reason. This happened to us last week. So please go to the YouTube feed. It is the most reliable in my personal opinion. But I will make sure Scott knows who is here watching. And he was forewarned that I will make sure his guests know that he knows they're here. So the first part of our show that I do with our guest, Scott, is called Spitlights. It's a form of spitballing. And it's just a cute little way I like to warm a guest up and just get to know some tidbit information about them. Sneakers or boots?
Sneakers all day.
Oh, any particular kind?
Puma only.
Puma? Oh, and I've seen Pumas. I've seen that logo, and you wear a lot of Puma gear, right?
Everything is Puma, from the socks to the underwear to the shirts to the shorts to the jackets. It's all Puma.
And do they sponsor you?
No, but they should.
They really should. I was gonna say, I can already tell you that there should be a Puma sponsoring going on right now.
Oh, maybe someday. Never say never.
I mean, if it's down to the underwear, for goodness sakes, they should be sponsoring you.
I know, right?
Right? Okay, hoodie or jacket?
Jacket.
Really? Okay, jean, leather, any particular kind? Do you like peacoats?
No, I'm talking like tracksuit jacket.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, you never know. I mean, when someone says hoodie, it's usually kind of pretty hoodie. There's not much.
I have a plethora of both, so but if I'm going to go out and do a show, if it's cold enough that I can wear a tracksuit jacket, I prefer it because I have my logos all over it. So I mean,
And
pretty
ours,
much anything I wear has the logos. You know, I have
yeah,
everything.
I know. I'm actually starting, like I'm starting little by little as I can afford it to get things like that with my logo on it or with some of my artwork on it. I'm trying to have things like that for that exact reason. Do they have a zip up or just pullovers?
They're all zip ups. Yeah.
They're all zip. Some people have a preference. I like not having to bother with a zipper, but morning.
For a jacket zip up, but
Okay.
for a hoodie, a pullover all day. Yeah.
Right? Pullover all day. Morning or night? Are you a night owl or a morning?
I'm a night owl.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Because I
this
mean,
is good.
most of the shows I do are at night, and most of the editing I do is at nighttime. It's just quiet. It's it's quiet, and I get things done. So
Yeah, and for those of you that are watching, we've got like 11 people watching right now. Please say hi and let us know you're here and say hi to Scott. Do you and what I was going to say is for those watching, Scott, it's 9 o'clock. It's like after 9 o'clock at night right now where Scott is.
It is.
Very nice. I'm so happy you were able, like I could have done it. We probably could have done it at a different time, but I'm grateful for you to do this late. Luckily you're a night owl. Lisa said they should. Not sure what she's talking about. Our conversation moved pretty quickly. I apologize, Lisa. I'm not sure what you mean. Olives or pickles?
Pickles.
Any particular kind of pickles? My phone, I forgot to my phone
up.
up.
Kosher dill.
Kosher. Ooh.
Yeah.
And like the whole pickle, or do you like the slice? Do you like slices?
I like the chips, the spears, everything. Pickle, yeah.
Nice.
These questions are funny.
It is. I mean, this is important information. I'm a little bit of a foodie. Okay, I never know. I might have to have you and your lady over as company, and I might have to cook. I'm gonna need to know.
Yeah, you're pretty far away for that.
I know. Well, you come to San Diego. There's a possibility.
Well,
American cheddar or other?
American cheddar.
American,
yeah.
You know, a friend of mine who's Italian was talking about his grandmother who does like a smoked Gouda or smoked mozzarella or something. What is
I like all
Italian thing you grew up
cheeses. Like I'm like a big mouse. I'll eat pretty much any cheese and large amounts of it. I love cheese. So.
Who's not? I'm like, I don't know whose answer is not just what you said, but they should all answer the same way you just did. I'm pretty much all about the cheese.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get us caught up on our comments here. So PunkrPrincess says, I will keep an eye on chats. Thank you very much, Lisa. Jen is here. Say hello.
Hi, Miss Marley. How are you, my friend?
Hello, Miss Marley. Sponsor. They should comment is about Puma sponsoring you.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna if anyone out there has an in at the Puma people, you gotta get Puma knowing that Scott over here has even got Puma underwear going on. I'm never gonna forget that, Scott. Okay. Tanya says, if there's food, I'm coming. No shit, girl. I'm gonna come East Coast just to hang out with Tanya and have her cook for me, man. I'm just saying.
It's funny. Most of the people watching so far are all people I met through Van.
Right. Well, it's this what happens. That's how you and I met. Sponsor him, Puma. She's gonna put it out there. I did to make sure Facebook.
I'll take it. I'll take the free stuff.
She did go over and commented from Facebook because she's helping me out. Because last week when we had Ty on, there were comments on Facebook we weren't seeing, and that was partly my fault because I had a setting wrong. And just so you do know, Scott, as you suspected, my Facebook wouldn't let me share directly to your timeline. It was not.
I took care. It's on there now. I took care of it.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. So last question for the food section portion of tonight is ham or turkey?
Turkey.
Ooh. Now, aren't there Italian meats that are more like common maybe for where like what you would want or what you'd want to eat?
Well, yeah. I mean, I love all of them. You know, I love prosciutto. I love Genoa salami. I love mortadella. Like there's so many different kinds. So.
I think my prosciutto. wait, let me make sure I'm going to say it wrong. Prosciutto?
Prosciutto.
Yeah, I think my roommate gets that one in particular. Like, other than the turkey that he gets and some of the hams and stuff, quite often he comes home with that. I'm pretty sure that's the one he comes home with.
And then there's
Okay.
pancetta, which I love as well.
That's the other one. Yes. Okay. Yes. I knew there was another one my roommate gets that's a little not norm for what I would go by. Okay. So that takes care of now that we're hungry. And I don't know if you've had dinner. I would imagine it's late there for you.
Yeah.
If you could pick a spirit animal, one spirit animal or creature, it doesn't have to be a realistic animal. What is it, Scott, and why?
A puma.
A puma? Listen, Puma people, this man wants your animal. He's wearing your logo everywhere. Somebody at Puma, send him a check, okay? Why? Because they're fast? What isn't so intriguing?
They're mysterious, they're quiet, and they are predators.
You know, I might be a puma. I'm not a predator, though. I'm definitely not. Well, I don't know. I could totally go kill my own food if I had to. I've done that, actually. Tanya says, I love this. Lisa says, of course. She's probably
I can see their comments. They do come up.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I like showing off that you have people watching because they love you, okay?
Well, I love them, too. I have great supporters, and it's very good to have that.
Yeah, you're taking your girl to the movies or you're going by yourself. What is that one treat, that one go-to movie treat you have got to have?
It's a toss-up. It's either between a big bucket of popcorn with butter or that big Bavarian pretzel.
Oh, the pretzel.
It's
my
huge.
God.
It's the size of a pizza. It's the
With
best.
salt on it or without, right? Like, do they
With
have
salt,
them?
yeah.
With salt? I was going to say, do you get a choice?
And they give you a mustard dip or a cheese dip. I do both.
And you said Bavarian pretzel?
That's what it's called when you go to the AMC theaters. It's.
I'm gonna have to look into this because here I think it just says pretzel. I've never seen the word Bavarian next to pretzel at the movie theaters here, and I feel like I've been gypped. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm pretty sure I'm not getting the same pretzel, and now I'm a little ticked off. I like to tell people that I like to have a bucket of popcorn with my butter.
True, yeah, lots of butter.
Of course, you say butter way better than you say way.
Right. Yeah, I like the Boston accent.
Yeah. Okay. Lisa says you might be part Puma, Doris. She knows me too. Yeah, you know me well, right? Jen says, IDK, if you can see these. Yes, we can see your comments, Jen. This is another reason why I want to make sure that we show them. And I can't comment on YouTube for some reason, but Sando, I'm here.
I know she's here, and I'm glad. She's always been a good supporter. She's a good person.
Yeah, I think if to comment on YouTube, Jen, you probably have to have a YouTube channel or account or signed in. I'm not sure. PunkrPrincess says pretzels anytime, all the time. We do have a visitor here called Vincent Viato. Is this someone you know?
I do not.
Oh, well, hello, Vincent. Say hello. We say hello to you. Welcome to our channel and to the show. This is Scott of SandoFilms. Tanya says, you guys look great. Dory, your hair is fabulous. I'm sorry, Scott. I had to take a moment and be like, oh, let me pose for Tanya. Okay. Yes, you do. He says you do know him.
Maybe. I don't know. I can't see his picture. It's too small.
I'm a friend of yours on Facebook. Well, I have
I have 5,000 friends, so.
And I'm up there with you, Scott. Both considering what are both of our creative worlds and our connections to the different creative talents out there, it's no shock that you or I are like, who's Vincent? Jen says I'm signed into it. I'm just faking. She's fucking with us, okay? Your comments are going off, man. PunkrPrincess is giving people. Okay, I'm gonna go back to our comments and our questions. Okay, Spitlights. Where was I? I think I lost my train of thought. Oh, here we go. The one movie you're going to tell anybody and everybody, Mr. Videographer, filmmaker, do you do mostly music videos or do you do filmmaking too?
I've been in films, you know, background extra type of stuff, and I've been on movie sets with friends of mine that are in the filmmaking business, and
Okay.
I haven't done anything that large scale.
What is the one movie you tell people that if you see any movie, if you watch any movie in your lifetime, what's the movie that they should go watch?
The Departed.
Oh, that's such a good recommendation, man. Oh, I love that. The Departed.
Either that or 8 Mile, because I'm a huge Eminem fan. So
Oh, yeah.
I'll watch either of those movies 100 times. And
yep.
Yeah,
My younger boy, Eminem, and he could tell you better than I could, but he is definitely rap and hip hop is definitely more his genre, and Eminem is definitely, he's the one that told me about Eminem's new album and that long song. I don't know if you've heard the Eminem song that he just did.
I've heard everything he's done.
It's on the newest album of his, and he goes off like he just.
He pretty much always goes off.
Take a breath, man. Like breathe, dude.
Yeah.
You know what song I'm talking about? I want to say it's called Elephant or something. I can't remember. It's on the newest album. Okay, and the last question. Do you watch musicals? And if you do watch a musical.
No.
No? No?
I'm
you might do a music video.
I watched that movie La La Land, and I just wanted to.
I couldn't get through it.
I couldn't.
You watched the whole thing?
I did.
I'm impressed because I've yet to see the whole thing. I couldn't
wait for it to be over, but
I haven't seen the whole
Although I did like the original West Side Story as a kid. I remember watching that movie, and I just thought it was so cool. Probably because it was, you know, in a city, New York. It was kind of like based on gangs, and the songs really weren't that bad, you know. But you're never gonna watch me watching like Evita or, you know, Moulin Rouge or any of that. Like I'm good.
Okay. What about so? There's no musical out there that you can think of that you actually could tolerate?
No, I mean I thought I'd be able to watch Hamilton because it was supposed to be hip hop based, but I couldn't even get through that. So.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I have no real interest in history, but I actually was able to. My oldest boy, different kid. My oldest kid is all about history, all about musicals, and he's big. Not necessarily that genre of music, but all about Hamilton. Like he knows all there is to know, and so he talked me into watching that. Jen says that's not what I said, and it's PunkrPrincess that Vincent knows. Mystery solved, Vincent. Mystery solved. And then Jen says, "Tank top screaming Lotto. I don't fit you."
Yeah, that's from 8 Mile.
It's like such a good movie. Okay, so I'm going to switch to a little bit more of a serious Q&A kind of question thing I have in here. Really serious questions. What are the 3 things you strive to be or to present or to be an example of, so that if I were to go ask one of your friends or your lady or family to describe you, you hope that they describe you that way?
Somebody that you can count on. Somebody that would like pretty much have your back no matter what, and that I'm a good person and a good friend. Like that's what I strive to be and I try to be.
Well, I definitely can say that. I mean, with the minimal time I've gotten to know you, I would definitely agree with all of that. And I mean, knowing people and getting to know people that knew Van, you know, it would be nice to have met people under a different circumstance. But it was definitely, you know, I mean, I would much rather have him here. But that is definitely one of the bittersweet parts of it, is all of the wonderful people that I've gotten to know because of my friendship with Van. And so if heaven does exist, and this is a stolen question from Actor Studio, but if it does exist, and there is a God, if you go, what do you want him to say to you or her to say to you or it?
Go back. You're not done.
I like that answer. But what if, like, go do more? You know what I love about that answer? You just made me think of something I'd like to hear, which is go back. You have more good to do.
Either
I don't
that
know.
or
That literally just popped in my brain.
Either that or hurry up and get in here. Van is in the VIP section waiting for you.
I totally think, oh my God, Scott, I totally want to be escorted to the room where he's hanging out with Prince. I'm convinced that him.
I have a feeling he'd be hanging out with MCA or the Beastie Boys over Prince.
Yeah, and I'm convinced they're up there writing songs and shit, man. Like just beating, you know.
Yeah.
Real quick segue. I went down the hill last night and I spent some time with some friends, and I ended up in a parking lot till almost midnight with these 20-year-old kids here, local guys in San Diego that are aspiring rappers. One is an aspiring hip hop person. The other kid he totally wants to do rap. And I have almost 6 minutes of them just like spitting shit out. Fucking crazy, man. Like, these kids are so talented and I'm just tripping. Yeah. And there's probably tons of artists out there like that just,
oh, absolutely.
You know, like, have you ever met someone who's never done anything in music, but yet they're in your influence or your talk, maybe a conversation with them turns
well, one of my best friends, Mr. PSA, he's a kind of like a local guy here. He hosts shows. He does like rap ciphers. This kid can rap off the top of his head for hours and never screw up, and he's not a rapper.
Right, and that was one of the kids. Both kids last night aspire for it, but it was clear one had been kind of practicing more or doing more because he was just. I'm just looking at him.
Oh, this kid, it's right off the top.
Later, and he's still doing
everything that's going on right in the room in front of him, and it's flawless. Like, I've never seen anybody. He's an anomaly. So, yeah. He inspires me a ton, and like. He's the type of person to go to bat for you and right back. I'd do anything for him. He's just one of those guys that he's all about that, you know.
And does that meeting people like that people with that kind of talent, is that part of the joy of what you do and being in film and doing videos?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I get to meet a lot of different people. You know, mostly it's in the hip hop scene, but now I'm starting to break out into different genres. I'm doing a lot of country music stuff. A lot of some pop music, which, you know, I'm not like, even though country isn't my favorite music, it's starting to grow on me because I hear so much of it now, and I've actually worked with some talented artists out here, and it's been really cool, you know.
Well, it's not country, but I know you got to meet him recently because he mentioned that he met you when he was on the East Coast. But Ross May was on our show on Sunday, and he does acoustic hip hop, which isn't country.
Yeah.
But yeah, his music's very interesting to me. It's very different. Emily Condry is saying hello from the.
Hello, Emily.
Emily, hello.
Another person that I met through Van. She's
nice.
Great person, good supporter. Great kid.
Yay. The next one is, what would you ask God, if there's a God, if you believe? What would you, do you have him?
Why did you take Van from us?
Well, you know Van, you've met him.
I know.
Why wouldn't God take him?
Well, we weren't done with him yet.
No. I totally agree. There's so much that, yeah. I have that question, and it's, there's more names on the list, unfortunately.
Oh, for me too.
Yeah, there's a lot of names on that list. There's and I can't speak for God and I can't speak for you, Scott, but I do know for me that a lot of the names that are on that list, when I hear myself say those names or think that, I can also give you a list of names of people who I've gotten to be of service to in a mentorship fashion just since April, from the day he's died till now, that I never would have known them. I never would have gotten to have a conversation with them if it hadn't been for Van.
True.
And I don't know if that's why, but I choose, for me, for my particular purpose, especially as a woman in recovery, for my own recovery family, I feel like that has something to do with why I even got to meet Van. Not about him getting taken or any of that.
Yeah.
Going home. I like to call it going home, like they went home.
Yeah.
You know, what that's about other than me, outside of me, I can't speak to, but I do know for me, that's part of why I know that he made sure I got to be on the path where I got to meet Van before he passed. Tanya says, rest in peace, Van. We miss you.
Facts.
And then the last part of this, and a lot of people don't like answering this question, Scott, but if you could damn one person to hell, or type of person, who would it be and why? And you can pass. A lot of people do.
I don't know. I'm not. I mean, there's a lot of people I dislike in the world, but I try to be a positive person, and I wouldn't damn anybody to hell that I can think of. I mean,
Yeah.
all rapists and pedophiles, yeah, they can go to hell. That's about it. You know?
Yeah, I like that's a pretty. I can agree with that one. And other than that, that's a power I don't even want to remotely have.
Yeah.
Okay, so now these. I have 5 words. These are Scott words. They were not like, they may have been on someone else's list, but these are particularly words that came to boom. Somehow I can't explain. They bursted into my brain when I was musing with Scott. What's Scott's 5 words gonna be? And of course, this first one, you're probably not shocked. As I said this earlier, cropping.
I do a lot of cropping and editing, so yeah.
Okay, so give me like, what's your thing? Like, what is your pet peeve? Is there a pet peeve, a suggestion, a piece of wisdom in relation to cropping?
In relation to cropping, not really. It's just basically cutting the sides and the tops off of certain things and making them smaller or bigger or whatever. But no words of wisdom in any way that I could think of.
Let me tell you my pet peeve, and you can tell me if you agree. I want to grab every person out there that ever takes a picture below eye level, and I want to shake them and go, never take a picture below eye level. We don't take pictures from down here.
True.
Stop it. I kid you not. One of my stand-up comedy jokes is, it's meant to be funny, but men who are on dating apps, and I don't use dating apps, but men who are on dating apps need a selfie consultation person, because far too many of them are posting selfies with the pictures from down here.
True.
And I'm like, dude, you haven't even bought me dinner. I don't want that view. I don't need to see that view. If you know what I'm getting at.
I do.
Okay, it's above eye level, people. Your selfies, your pictures should be above eye level. There you go. I got my little soapbox puppy. Okay, test. I don't know why this word came to me, but do you do test shots? Do you do test videos? Do you test lighting?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of that. Definitely testing lighting. Do I test videos? Not really, but I will send them to certain people in my life that will give me an honest opinion on them before I release them.
Okay.
It's a very small pool of people, and they'll be honest too. They'll say, you know, this isn't that good, or, you know, they're not going to be like, oh, it's great, and that's what you want to hear. You want to hear the brutal truth of whether it's good or not. You know, at this point, I kind of know if it's good or not at this point, but I still send them everything, and they always give me their honest opinions.
Tanya says, Stacy Mavilia, maybe tell Steve, that Scott is on live. It's a comment from her to someone else.
That's my cousin,
She's
Steve.
tagging people. She's probably tagging people in the stream.
Oh, yeah.
And then Hassie. So I was going to say, so testing, I did 120, it's called 48-Hour Film Project. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, we have it out here.
Yeah, I did. I led a team 1 year where I wrote, produced, and directed and all that jazz. The reason this word probably came to mind, and probably one of my questions for you, is sound, making sure the sound on a music video, other than the music, do you have other circumstances where sound has been been problematic?
Well,
Maybe
I
you didn't.
think when I first started out, I used to I would do interviews and use the camera mic, which, after a while you realize that's a no-no.
Mm,
And then I switched to a lav mic, and what a difference. So sound is very important. I mean, usually music videos, it's a recorded track, so it's
okay.
usually
Yeah.
been mixed by a producer, so it's going to sound good. But when I do my interview stuff, I try to make sure that that's all, with real mics, and that I
Yeah.
can adjust to play the sound with the sound when I'm editing it.
Yeah, I had this one 48-hour film I did, this short film I did. For the most part, it's fine. And it was okay. It was not going to win me any awards. It was my first one, right? But there was one line in the entire, it was like this key pivotal line of one of the actors. And because he talked so softly, as a director, I didn't catch how softly he was actually. My video guy was a documentary editor. And he jacked that sound up on that, man, as high as it could possibly go on his computer. And he had like state-of-the-art computer software shit. And it just, man, we still, even now, like I tell people, if you ever watch that clip or watch my short film, you're gonna want headphones on, because you're not gonna hear that actor's line. Like, I almost want to have, one of these days I tell myself that I'm going to sit here similar to my spoken word lyrics videos. I feel like I need to do a lyric video to that film, because you can't hear that line.
Yeah.
What else we got going on here? So Tanya says, I'm tagging people to watch the feed. And Vincent says, I don't like when the music is louder than the dialogue.
True. I don't either.
Yeah. So it's sound, when I think the word test probably came to mind, because for me, that was a big question I was going to ask you, was how do you make sure your sound is right? I mean, obviously the music track is the music track, but.
Well, no, you also have on your camera, you can see the bars, and you'll know that if you're going to go over and it'll distort. So, yeah. Or you can plug a headphone in, which sometimes I do. And you can hear it. You can hear it right in your headphones.
Okay. The next word that came to mind is harmony. What does that speak to you?
Well, I mean, there's going to be harmonies in all the music and the songs that I make music videos for.
Right.
Harmony between friends and family is very important.
Mm-hmm. Do you get into a lot of disagreements with people on your set, or when you're doing videos? Does that come up?
No, but I can get agitated. Sometimes, you'll have a set where there's 30 people on set, and it's like a party situation, and people treat it that way, and not a music video shoot. And sometimes I go a little off the handle, and I'll just say, "Hey, everybody, shut the fuck up and listen, because I need to get this shot done. I know you want to party, but I need to get this shot done." And I hate doing that. And then after the fact, I hate that I did that. But it's like, you have to get people to listen, or you're not going to get things done. I'm a one-man team. A lot of guys out here, they got 20 people on their team. They got 10 people working with them. I have to do everything myself: the lighting, the shooting, the directing. Like, it's a lot. But I do like to wear all the hats. So.
Do you have times when you're not wearing all of the hats? Do you have people that?
Rarely, very rarely, I'll have maybe a friend come along and help me, but usually they don't really know. I had a couple people that I was trying to teach that, they went their own ways, and for a while, but
Okay.
if I can find somebody, that it's very hard, because if I'm going to have somebody shoot with me, they need to have the same kind of style as me, because I have to be able to trust them to go out and do a show and have it come back and me not go, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's only one person I worked with so far. She was younger, but she was really good. Like, she would go to a show and I would look at her footage and be like, I feel like I shot this. And her name was Sadie Girardi, and she still does her own thing out there, but she's got a really good eye, And
Yeah.
it was fun working with her on the few projects that we worked together on. Did a couple weddings together and stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah, I've only really collaborated the one time on that film, but then I also did some film shooting where I was shooting myself and other stand-up comics when we were doing improv. Now that video footage was really just used later to gather the dialogue from it, because that's how I wrote our sitcom pilot, was utilizing a lot of our improv. But the directing I did on the short film, I get what you're saying. If that my videographer, which was the editor that did documentaries, we literally, Scott, it was like two peas in a pod from the moment we were on scene, like on set or on location, whatever. But I can understand what you're saying. Luckily, I've only done it the one time, but as a creator, I don't do a lot of collaboration because of that. Like, I don't have, it's ironic because the next word that came up in my thinking process was muse, or was compromise. Sorry. And we've kind of already touched on this, like learning how to,
you have to. We have to be able to
like, for a
compromise.
second there, I thought your video was frozen.
No. I was just sitting back and falling asleep a little bit. No, I'm just kidding.
You're gonna get me all offended. What? Me?
No.
Me put you to sleep? Hello?
No, you're not. No.
Okay.
Just joking.
Vincent says, I don't like when the music, you already read that one. And I'm a metalhead and mostly hip hop that's in movies. Okay. So did you have anything you want to share on compromise before I move us along? So we don't
I feel like you need to be able to compromise with people in situations, because sometimes it doesn't always go your way, you know?
Right? Yeah. But it is one of those things, I know for me personally, I can't speak for you, but it definitely has a lot to do with some of the lack of collaboration in my creative outlets and artistic stuff. So ambition is your last word.
Something that I didn't have in the first 20 years of my life, but then it just all came in a big wave when I decided that I wanted to pick up a camera and do what I do what I do now.
When did
if I didn't have the ambition that I did, I wouldn't have gotten as far as I have as fast as I did. I really, really worked hard. I grinded hard to be able to get the status I'm at. When you first pick up a camera and you have no footage or anything to show anybody, how can you make it in that world? So basically what I did was, at the time, I didn't have a car. I used to take the bus. I had to take a bus and a train to get to the show. And then I'd have to leave the show before the headliner came on, because I had to catch the train back home. But once I started going to all the shows, that's when I just started to meet all the people in the hip hop scene. And I was able to move through it and find ways to get content, and then be able to turn that into a business just by hustling,
Hustle, grit, ambition, and
it's true what they say. If you work hard, you can't accomplish anything. It's true. I mean, I was a 20-year criminal. I did 2 years in jail, and I came out. I had nothing. And I had to kind of find a way to make a career for myself. And I never thought it would be this. This was always a dream of mine as a kid, was to be able to be some kind of filmmaker, and to be able to actually say I did it, even though I started in my 40s, right? I was still able to accomplish it and make a career out of it, which is, huge for me.
I feel I can relate to that on so many levels. And we kind of talked a little bit before we came live about how I recently quit my day job, and I don't have to panic financially yet. But part of why I did was because I just needed to, for at least maybe a month, I gave myself a month, really, really focus on my art, focus on creating artistically, and seeing if that could be something I could have support me without the grind of a day job.
But also, let me say, even though I had all the ambition and the drive to do it, there's a lot of people that helped me along the way. My parents bought me a camera. My
Nice.
buddy Dan, he built my first computer, which I still have to this day. I mean, I've switched out some components yet, but I still have the same computer
Oh
that
yeah,
I
and
started
built.
with.
I just told
Um,
someone yesterday, I think, that built computers like that are way better than those ones that are put together and you buy them out of the store. Just my
yeah.
own opinion.
Oh yeah, it's a custom build. And then
Exactly.
there was a
Almost
lot
always
of
better.
videographers that are out there now that actually I had questions and they would answer and they would help me out, and that was a huge help because I mean there was some guys that were just like get out of here, kid, and then there was a lot that just would answer any question and help me out, and I'm still friends with them
Tanya
today.
said, "You worked hard for it, Scott. You deserve it." And I would agree. I haven't gotten to know. I don't know you as long as some of the other people that have known you, but I definitely would agree with that. Vincent says, I do a show called Sci-Fi Ninja Theater on YouTube and B-Movie TV channel, 8 a.m. Okay. So I'm going to add a picture reel to the stream because these are, as a photographer, because photography was my first creative outlet, Scott. I may not have ever told you that. My grandfather bought me a camera when I was 9 years old. I was taking pictures long before I was writing poetry or painting or anything. Photography, I've always had an eye for photography. I've always had an eye, 100% know that I'm meant to be behind a camera, not doing what you do, but directing. That's my jam. When it comes to video, I want to do more directing and writing scripts and stuff. So I put together a reel of just some pictures. Pictures catch my eye. These are pictures that caught my eye when I was going through doing my Scott recon. Tell me what's going on here. Is this a video shoot? Is this
This was a few weekends ago.
Okay.
A friend of mine, a promoter, his name's Kenny Mercer, Full Blast Booking. They
I know Kenny.
They put on a 4-day tour, and all the proceeds went to mental health. They raised over $11,000 for mental health, and I was there for 3 of the 4 shows. I didn't do the New York show, but I did the Mass, the New Hampshire, and the Connecticut show. And I also shot 3 ciphers for them, which, if you don't know what a cipher is, it's basically 4 or 5 rappers that come in and they do a verse. And these ciphers were specifically about mental health. So they should be dropping soon. I'm still working on them now. But this is a photo from the last day. It was taken from the stage.
Nice. Kenny was actually supposed to be one of the first guests of the month of September, and he was unable to make it. And you just reminded me when you said his name that I need to touch base and see if he wants to have me, fit him in this month, since the month is called Play Me a Song. I've been meaning to get back with him. He has such as you know, I'm sure that his schedule's probably crazy, but let me hit play on this and go to the next picture in here.
Okay. God, I'm scared.
You're scared?
Oh, okay.
I love this picture. I don't know who took it.
This was backstage at the Machine Gun Kelly show. And I went with my friend Kayla Pope. She's also a singer, but she's a huge Machine Gun Kelly fan, and she had an extra ticket, and she knew a lot of the people, a lot of the roadies, so we were able to go backstage. I was actually at his merch table selling merch, the 2 of us, and it was just weird because we had no business being there. But and for me to go to Machine Gun Kelly's show, and he's a complete rival of Eminem, was very different for me. But
right. But did she take this picture?
She took the picture, yeah. Yeah, she did.
I don't know.
It was very candid. It was very candid. I didn't realize she was going to take it, but it came out great.
It's one of those shots, and I, now for those of you watching the actual full, for some reason, I think that maybe because it's, the way I cropped it, I didn't mean to do any cropping, but it's one of those pictures, Scott, and this always happens. If a picture stuns me, for just the way it's lit, the way yes, it is a candid shot. Her angle, her crop, the way she's got you framed in the full picture was spot on. I'm like, I gotta share this, man. Like it,
it's and like I feel like I'm clean and everything else is dirty around me.
There's something about it, right? Like I like this to me, like I look at this is a picture. It also kind of falls in a category of pictures for me that I would paint. I would want to paint this view, like the you on the stairs. And this is where, for those of you watching, it's okay that she's below eye level. It's okay. There's like, that's all.
True.
That's okay. But it's a great shot. I just had to share it, and I had to
shout out to Kayla Pope, aka K-Bye. That's her singer name.
Nice.
Really good friend of mine.
So Vincent was asking for you to, he was asking about giving him any tips, being someone, because he does have these he has shows and TV shows. Are there any, I'm assuming maybe Scott is a videographer, but what are the kind of tips you give people when they ask you questions?
I mean, I do have a lot of younger people come up to me that want to get into what I'm doing. And, they'll ask certain questions like, what kind of camera should I get? How did you get into doing shows, and how did you get in the door to do the shows? And, just stuff like that. Like, how was I able to build such a name? Building a brand is huge. Like, branding was big for me. I always had a SandoFilms hat on, or always had a SandoFilms shirt on, and I was riding the trains, so, I would tag everything SandoFilms. So I was really good with my branding, and I think that's important.
It is. And we talked about this before we went live, about how that's something I'm working on now, is little by little, as I can afford it, I'm trying to make sure that I've got the right things with my branding on it. Vincent said, great picture. Russell said, hey, you guys. Vincent says he has a Sony Z90 as his camera.
Okay.
You use a Canon, right? You primarily.
I started out on a Canon. And then I bought a Panasonic Lumix GH5, which was my camera that I used for the past 3 years. And then just recently I bought the new Canon R6 mirrorless full frame, which, oh my God, I love this camera. It's some of my best work is being done with this camera. So
nice. Okay, so we've read that. I'm going to hit play, and we're going to go to the last picture on this reel.
I'm scared.
You're scared?
Well, I don't know what's going to come, so it's,
what happened? Here we go. It went to it, and it didn't pause when I wanted it.
There, I know.
Hold on. It's not cooperating with me. It's playing past the picture, and I'm trying to pause it.
There it is. Okay.
That is you.
So,
sitting on the ground, right?
That is Van.
Mm-hmm.
This is my very first music video.
Of course, you know that's why. That's one of the reasons.
And I shot it with Van, and we had met. We were locked up together, and we met back in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And he had told me the day before, I was in there with him for 3 months, and I never knew he was a rapper till the last day. And then he says, oh, I'm going to be this big rock star rapper and this and that. And, he was already doing it. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to be a great video guy and filmmaker. And I hadn't even had a camera at the time. It was just a pipe dream at that point. And he says, all right, well, we're going to work together someday. So 8 years later, this is what we did. And, he loved the video, the way I did it. And I look back at it now and I'm just like, oh, God, compared to, what I'm doing now. But you don't know when you start out. You don't know what the quality is, the level and effects level. But, he loved it. And even to this day, he loved this video.
I had to put this in, of course, because I did know one of the fun facts of you about you and Van's relationship, or in your world and via your experience, was that this was your first video. I knew that.
Yeah.
And as a photographer, my brain looks at this because this is you sitting in the picture, like you're in the picture with him. And again, it's a picture that stuns me, and I'm like. And I think I told you this at the memorial. I'm like, you're not even getting to be a part of the group here grieving because you were working. I love that whoever took this took
Well,
the
I
moment.
actually had a girl. I had a girl that was a photographer, and she worked next door to the place I worked. And I said,
Ah,
"Hey, will you come up with us to the forts and just take some pictures behind the
right.
scenes?" Because it was my first video, so I wanted to
Yeah.
document it, you know.
Nice.
And
And I love that you did. That's a great, like, absolutely great that you did, because it should 100% get documented. Hearts from Lisa. Tanya says, love this shot. Vincent, I got to go. It's been real. Thank you. Oh, and then she says black cat shirt. Yep. So yeah, I had to put it in there. I knew, and I what was the other thing I wanted to mention? Are those Puma sneakers you're wearing?
you know what? I can't tell, but maybe, most
Maybe.
likely. If not, they're Nikes, so it's one of the two.
Okay.
I'm
All
pretty
right.
sure they're Pumas, though.
That I don't know what you thought I was going to put out there, but were any of those as scary as you were thinking? He's like,
No, but you never know. You never
no.
know. I mean, I'm pretty good
I
at,
mean,
there's really nothing racy out there about me, but I just,
oh
when you don't know what's coming, you never know.
no, man, I wouldn't want anyone to go like do anything too embarrassing or crazy to me. Wouldn't even.
I'm sure there's pictures out there that exist that I wouldn't want to see the daylight, but that was my early.
I would want to, if I in any way ever, I mean, I think this is true of anyone I know, Scott, but you particularly, I know I have so much respect and admiration for you. I would want to throw up if I disrespected or offended you somehow. Like if that ever, and you know, actually, that's actually happened. I'm like messaging you. I'm like, that. I don't even have to go into detail of what I was talking about, but like, I had to make sure that we were cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I don't want to have that. No. No.
No,
Okay.
that's just like I said. That's just when it really started to get busy, and I just couldn't like answer anybody at the point. I was just slamming.
Now this says Bars and Guitars Official, but I'm almost certain that means that's Ross May, who's now watching and says Big Sando.
Okay.
Yeah, that Bars and Guitars is his he will tell us and correct me, but I know that's his channel or one of his channels. So I'm going to add this to the stream. I haven't hit play on it. This is the part of the show, but before we hit play, oh wait, let me remove it for a second. For the most part, the interview portion of today's show is over, and you are officially off the hot seat and out of the being interviewed portion of today's show, Scott. You're out of it.
Well, thank you for having me.
Does that feel better? Do you feel less like, woo?
It does.
But it's also the part of the show that I give an opportunity to all of my guests, and with other than asking me why I do the Spotlight show, I give my guests the permission and allowance to ask me one question of their choosing, any question they would like to ask. If there's some burning thing they want to ask about me, you get one question. I can't be blackmailed, and I will answer you. So what's your question? It's like getting a wish. It's like giving
I didn't even have a time to think about it, but
that's the point.
how about where do you get your artistic vision from?
It kind of depends on what genre of art I'm doing. It can vary. I do know that there's not a poem out there that I didn't write that was stemmed from probably love of some kind. A loss of love, a hurt of love, a bliss of love, the divinity of love. Good, my poetry is driven very much from love. My paintings are kind of they're these visual things, and as a videographer, I'm sure you can imagine like that you see something in your mind maybe, and you want to try to get it out in camera or get it out, somehow. And that's what paintings are like for me. My biggest painter influence was Gustav Klimt. And as a little girl, Stained glass windows in Catholic churches saved me. It was one of many things that saved my life and kept me from taking myself out as a little girl, were the beauty of stained glass windows. So it has a lot of influence in paintings of mine. When people ask me, you know, I was actually told that. I didn't even really make the connection until someone looked at a few of my paintings one day and they're like, your paintings remind me of stained glass windows. And I'm like, oh, like I had to be told. I'm like, oh, that's a good point. Justin Heath is here. He says, good stuff, guys. Love it.
What's up, Justin?
Lisa says, good question, right? And then Tanya says, childhood dream come true.
True.
And before I switch over to your director's reel that we are going to play for everyone, because the last portion of our show, I give the con to our guests and I let them show their work or present their work. And we're going to play a director's reel of Scott's work and magic as a videographer and man with the camera. Before we watch that video, do you want to do any promos or shout outs before we watch it or after? We're going to still be here. We can do them after.
Yeah, actually, all right. So right now I'm working on a big project. It's a documentary, a mini documentary for the Hip Hop Transformation, which is out of Cambridge, Mass, at the Cambridge Community Center. And what they do is they teach kids how to make, produce, and create their own music. So in the video, in the documentary, we start off at the studio where they're actually writing, creating a beat, recording it, and then it goes right up until they actually perform live for the first time for an audience in Starlight Square in Cambridge. And it was 3 days of just interviews and B-roll and their performance, and it's probably the best piece of work that I've done so far. And shout out to Flash Furman and everybody over at the Hip Hop Transformation for trusting me to put this together. It is a big project, but it's very close to my heart, and these kids were just amazing. When
does it come down? Like, where's it at in the timing of it? It's done.
I'm hoping to be done by end of November, early December. It is a lot. It's a lot of content, so I have to be very careful how I put it together. Because we're going to go big with it, and we're going to try to shop it to some big networks, and it's probably going to have some pretty big news coverage. It's something to do with kids, so that's pretty big. And then I got a bunch of music videos coming out for so many different artists, and I also in January I'm going to drop my year in hip hop, which I do every year, and it's basically a wrap up of all the live stuff and anything hip hop going on in Boston, shout outs from artists and stuff like that. So it's something I've been doing for the past 6 years. I've done one every year. So except for last year with the pandemic, that was the one we missed. So I'm looking forward to get back to that again.
When are you coming back to San Diego?
When somebody pays me to come out to San Diego and do a job.
Okay.
I imagine that Cult Media is going to bring me back out to do some music videos at one point. I was hoping to come out for the San Diego Music Awards, but it didn't happen. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, as you know, I do my own stuff for my spoken word stuff.
Yeah.
But I have officially been in 2 of my own videos. And Scott, I officially last night, I don't know, maybe it was because you were coming on the show, but I finally did one of my spoken word music videos. Now the music, I still have to score music for it. So I don't know why. Maybe, like I said, maybe because you were coming on, I wanted to, be able to tell you. I finally did it, Scott. I'm actually, because I've been in my videos before, but not speaking my words to my poems.
I've acted in over 30 music videos.
Well, and I know when you were
so I like to be in front and behind the camera.
He didn't like being in his videos, right?
Who's that?
Van.
No, he didn't.
Exactly. And I did not either. And I still do not either.
But we did do Hammering the Sky with Tanya Lee, and
Yeah.
she was amazing. And
Yeah. Oh,
I remember when I sent him that video,
such a good video.
and he was just like, dude, this is crazy. This video, like, she did such a good job. She had to, memorize all the lyrics. And, let me also say one more thing about Van. So I met Ty Hunt through Van, and
Right.
I had no idea who he was. I did one of his shows, and then I did like 4 music videos for him. And then we had a really bad falling out, like really bad, to the point where we were going to fight. And I said, I'm not working with you no more. He wanted nothing to do with me. And then, of course I called Van and I said, what's up with this kid? Like, what's the story? And he's like, you know what? He goes, let me think on this for a little bit. And then we ended up doing a 3-way call between me, him, and Ty, and he squashed it, and he got us back to liking each other again. And now Ty's like one of my brothers, and now we're doing a very big music video with him and Acid Drop, and it's a song dedicated to Van, and it's what we're gonna do with it. You guys are gonna be blown away. Okay. So it's good. It's a big homage to Van, and I'm excited to get it finished. We're going to shoot the last part of it on October 3rd, so hopefully mid-October we'll have it out.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna get us caught up with the chat, and then we're gonna watch your video. So okay. PunkrPrincess said she's gonna follow you now. Thank you. Shannon says, "Awesome. This gonna be so great."
Shannon, I was wondering where she was.
Yeah, Shannon. I'm almost positive that this comment came through when you were talking about the documentary that you're working on.
Okay.
Ross says Tour for Life. You met him when he was on the East Coast. Shannon says Tanya Lee was amazing in that video, the one you're referring to. I know I've seen that video. Tanya knows how I feel about her. I'm gonna watch her video by myself someday. Yes, I said that live. A police officer lent me his uniform for that video. PunkrPrincess was saying hello to Shannon. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to add this to the stream. We're still here. We can hear each other, Scott, but I'm going to go and I'm going to remember to unmute it first. Haha. And then I'm going to hit play.
Kind of choppy.
Is it? It's clear here.
I don't know why it's not playing.
For those of you watching, let us know how the stream is on your end. So we've got people on YouTube.
I'm watching on my TV right now, and you can't. Oh, there we go. Well, no, don't go. Yeah, it's not really that good.
Go here real quick. Let me make sure I mute myself.
Well, at least you can see a few stills of some of the work that I've done.
Sorry, I realized I'd muted myself. So for all of you watching, I'm going to put this link for this YouTube video in chat. And Lisa says it's playing clear for her. So that's a good thing. We've got people out there. Yes, Ross said it is definitely choppy for him. Yeah, it's one of those things, and I don't have like my streaming, whatever the streaming Wi-Fi upload needs to be better than what it is for playing something like this. Yeah. I saw the behind the scenes pictures of a lot of these when I was looking through your pictures. Well, it would be nice if it had played cleaner.
Yeah,
The wonderful beauty of Wi-Fi.
yeah. Well,
Yeah. When I win the lottery, one of the first things I'm probably going to do is spend a lot of money on computer equipment and wires and cameras but I did put the link for that video for everyone out there. You can see that video on Scott's YouTube. And that music, you said you didn't have to have it made. People give you the beats.
no, that was a beat. I believe that was J Plus. He gives me
Okay.
a lot of stuff. He's great, really great producer.
Nice.
Shout out J Plus.
So other than that, okay, so we know your documentary that you're working on, and then you said that will probably be out maybe sometime next year.
Yeah, maybe end of November, early mid-December. Yeah.
So we did get feedback. I know PunkrPrincess said it was clear for her. She was watching on Facebook. Our YouTube people did say it was choppy for them. We have a few more people who are saying hello. This is Comic Talk with Pops Van Zandt. He is a creator that also has a madness group for comic book creators, and it's a nice connection of network of people. Tanya says, I know this song and video, so I can tell it's choppy. Yes. And she says, I love it. Other than that, anything else you've got going on that you want to plug real quick before I let you go and go to bed and go night-night?
Nothing really. I just did the 5th annual Waltham Recovery Fest on Sunday, which is an event they usually hire me to do every year, and basically it's remembering of people who we've lost to addiction, and I do a lot of stuff with recovery, and I believe in it, and it's important to me, and it should be important to other people because we're losing a lot of people.
Well, it's good to hear for me. I can't speak for anyone else, but I took 10 years clean and sober on June 11th of this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's definitely a big, huge part of my heart. A lot of people have been lost to that. And so can't save them all, but I will try my best to do what I can do while I'm still breathing. Thank you for doing that, for having that.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm really super excited that you were able to come on and that we got to include you in our Play Me a Song month for September, because it makes perfect sense to have a man of your talents that does videos for people come on and join us for this month.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, I'm gonna sign us out, and I've gone through all of our comments. Scott, I'm gonna hit the same intro video that I did with all of your beautiful pictures of you. I'm gonna hit that, and then right at the end, I'm gonna hit offline. You're more than welcome to stick around in the green room and be there when I go offline, but I will not be upset or offended if you are not, if you need to sign out. Okay. Tanya says, congratulations to you both. For anyone else who's watching, we will be back here Sunday night at 6 p.m. for our next Spotlights hour. I am going to, lost my train of thought. I apologize. Be on the lookout for those reminders and on all of the different channels. Just make sure you're following us and go follow Scott. So at SandoFilms is your Facebook, Instagram. They can find you using that handle.
Yeah, everywhere at SandoFilms.
The same on Twitter as well, right? Your Twitter, yes. Facebook, Instagram, and you do have a website as well.
No, I don't. I never had a need for one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think if you go to your Facebook, there's a website there.
No.
Maybe you don't use it anymore, but it's still.
It might still be on there. I think it was a Wix website for a long time ago.
Yes, it's a Wix one.
Now I'll have to take that down.
Okay. Well, it still goes to the page.
Oh, it must be old as hell, though.
Link still works. All right. Thank you so much, Scott. I'm going to hit play on this video, and have a great night. And thank you for coming.
Okay. Take care.